Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to delve into a issue that has been very prominent in the natural hair community. Like almost every natural that I speak to, they have an issue with moisture, and I found it was important to just address this issue and put some people's mind to ease, because I found that a lot of naturals, they are so dissatisfied with their hair. They after they transition and they did their big chop and everything, they're just unhappy with their hair because they feel like it is dry all the time, and that this whole idea of protein moisture balance and all of these things is just has them a bit overwhelmed. So I wanted to address it today because I see a lot of videos on YouTube as well concerning moisture, but nobody really addressed this issue, and that is elasticity. Now, what is elasticity? It is your hair's ability to be stretched and then to resume to its previous state. So just like it sounds like an elastic or a rubber band, the way that you can stretch it and then it will bounce back to how it was previously, that is elasticity. And our hair actually has the ability to be stretched and to bounce back. And I'm not talking about stretching out the curl and then it curling back up. I'm talking about holding your hair tight and stretching it, and the hair itself actually stretches like a rubber band. Why I want to address elasticity is because there's a lot of talk about protein and moisture, but elasticity is really the important thing here. Protein and moisture are the contributing factors that determine whether your hair has a high, good elasticity, or if it has a low elasticity and it breaks easily. What we have been doing in the natural hair community is just zooming in on protein moisture, but we haven't been connecting the dots. So they are two contributing factors, but the dot that connects them both, or what both of them contribute towards, is actually the elasticity of your hair. When people talk about their hair being dry and not having enough moisture, it really has nothing to do with the elasticity of their hair. They say that because of the touch, or when they touch their hair, the actual feel of it. But my question is, have you checked your elasticity? And that is what I want every natural watching this video to do. Now, how to check your elasticity? You can check it while your hair is wet or dry. I check it both ways. So when your hair is wet, it stretches more. So you can just collect your shed hair or whatever hair you have collected after your detangling session on wash day, and take 2 to 3 strands or more, and you hold them, you wrap it around one finger and you wrap it around your next finger and you hold it tight, and then you just pull. You just pull, and when your hair is wet, it should be able to at least stretch like 50% of its length. And you can do the same thing with dry hair. It will just stretch a bit less. So when it's wet, it will stretch about 50%, but when it's dry, it will stretch about 30%. What should happen is that you should be able to stretch your hair without it breaking. So you just pull tightly on the hair, and you should be able to pull and bring it back, pull and bring it back, pull and bring it back. And then you look at the strands, and the strands should not have any damage. They should look just like it looked before you stretched it, and that should say to you that your hair has healthy elasticity, your protein moisture levels are fine. Now, when you stretch your hair, if you experience breakage, then you know that your protein moisture levels are not balanced, and you need to do either a protein treatment or do a nice moisturizing deep condition. And actually you don't even need to wait to do the elasticity test to see if you experience breakage, because breakage happens. You see little pieces of hair on your pillow, you see hair on your bathroom counter. When you manipulate your hair to style in the morning, you actually see breakage. But even if you're not sure and you want to do the elasticity test, go right ahead. Once you experience breakage, it could either be that your hair needs moisture or your hair needs protein. So the way to determine what your hair needs is by looking at your regimen and seeing where the imbalance is. Okay, so look at your regimen. Is it that if you do things like, okay, I deep condition overnight 2 times a week, and I wash my hair 3 times for the week, I looking at the ingredients in all of my products and I'm not seeing any proteins, then it's obvious that your hair needs some protein. And the opposite is also true. If you look at the ingredients in your products and you're seeing a lot of proteins, a lot of heavy proteins, strong, because there are proteins that are a bit on the lighter side, and then you have strong proteins. If your products have strong proteins, you do protein treatments often, then more than likely your hair needs a nice moisturizing deep condition, and you need to ease up on the protein for a bit until your hair gets back in balance. And again, how would you know if your hair gets back in balance? You check the elasticity to see if your hair is still breaking. It's a process, and it takes a while for your protein moisture balance to come back in healthy levels. You want to just continue checking and making the corrections to your regimen, and continue checking your elasticity, and eventually it will come back to a level where you can stretch your hair and it will bounce back, stretch your hair and it will return to its original state, and your elasticity will now be healthy. I feel like a lot of naturals get paranoid about moisture, and they haven't stopped to think, wait, stop and check your elasticity. Once your elasticity is fine, then your protein moisture balance is fine. You have no problem with your protein moisture balance. You are not experiencing breakage. Your hair is healthy, and the dryness that you feel is just surface level dryness. And surface level dryness is basically when your hair is just not wet. And I think a lot of naturals have never accepted or have gotten acquainted or familiar with how their hair feels when it is just not wet. So like my skin right now is not wet, but I have no problem with the moisture balance in my skin. My skin is soft, it feels moisturized, it's not cracking, it's not breaking, it's just not wet. And we know that for our skin because nobody expects to walk around with their skin being wet all the time. So then I don't know why we expect that we should be able to walk around as naturals with our hair being wet all the time. We think that healthy hair equals wet hair, and that is not true. And I think that all of us should be asking ourselves, how does my natural hair feel when it is not wet? How does my healthy, and I can say healthy, once you've done your elasticity test and you are having no problems with elasticity, your hair is not breaking, then your hair is healthy, and you can comfortably say, okay, how does my healthy hair feel when it is not wet? As I go on in this series, I will address things that we could do if you feel your hair, my hair is healthy but it feels rough, it feels dry, it doesn't look healthy, it looks dry, all of these things. I will address those things later on, but today I just want us to wrap our mind around the fact that the bigger picture, what we should be focusing on, is the elasticity of our hair, because that is what is going to help us retain length. And I want to take the discussion from moisture to elasticity. So later on in this series, we're going to continue talking about moisture and all of the unrealistic expectations that we have concerning our natural hair. And yeah, I didn't want to make this video too long, so I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope it took the pressure off of you guys to have wet hair 24/7, to feel like it's healthy. Comment down below, let me know if you guys do the elasticity test, if you experience breakage, or if your hair bounce back fine. Let me know any other issues that you'd like me to address concerning moisture. Down below I've also linked some articles that are really helpful in terms of understanding the protein moisture balance and how they contribute towards elasticity even more. And I think it's good reading for us to get a better understanding of the whole elasticity issue, and that we can just change the conversation in the natural hair community from moisture to elasticity. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys soon. Bye.